Assalamu alaikum girls, this is Shazia Shakil and I am going to teach you Unit 13 of your first year English compulsory textbook. Unit 13 is a poem named Ozymandias and it is written by Percy Bysshe Shelley. He was one of the major romantic poets and is regarded as among the finest lyrical and philosophical poets in the English language. Shelley was born on 4th August 1792 at Field Place near Horsham in Sussex, England. His father was a minister. His name was Sir Timothy Shelley and his mother was Elizabeth. Among his major works are St. Irwin or Rosicrucian and Prometheus Unbound. Now the poem. I met a traveler from an antique land. The poet tells you about his experience that he met a traveler from an ancient land who said two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. He tells the poet that he has come across a broken statue comprising of two vast and trunkless legs. They were standing in the middle of a desert, and near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies. Shattered visage is a broken face or a head of the statue that was half sunk in the sand, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command. Jiska frown tha, there was a frown on his forehead, as if he was angry or not in a very good mood, and his lips were wrinkled, and sneer of cold command, as if he is in a bad mood, or he is these portray his cruelty. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. These the frown and the expression on the face, on the broken face of the statue, tell that the artist who has carved the statue out of a piece of a rock, he had read those passions of cruelty, pride, and boastfulness, all kind of these emotions that he used to give orders of beheading people in cold blood. All these passions the sculptor had read well and portrayed them well on his face. And these passions are surviving as yet, stamped on these lifeless things. Lifeless things are the rocks on which he has, out of which he has carved his head, that mocked the hand that mocked them, the hand of the sculptor. It's that mocked them. Mock means that made fun of them, and the heart that fed, and the heart of the statue, the possessor of, the one whose statue was made. It was the heart that fed those emotions. Okay, and on the pedestal these words appear. On the pedestal, these words underneath that statue. The detail about the statue is given. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, you mighty in despair. Look at his boastfulness, his pride, his arrogance. My name is Ozymandias. I am the kings of kings. He thought that he was the mightiest of all the kings because he has made numerous big buildings all around his statues, all around his statue. And he says, and he boasts upon his works, and he says, all those who think that they are mighty, they must despair. To look at my work, they cannot excel me. Nothing, और फिर उसके बाद there is a commentary by the poet, nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sand stretch far away. It means that there was no building all around that colossal wreck. Colossal wreck means huge wreckage, huge, that the broken statue, usko colossal wreck कह रहे, boundless and bare. Everywhere around that colossal wreck, that broken statue, there was nothing. just the lone and level sand that has engulfed all the buildings along with the rest of the statue. Only two vast trunkless legs and one shattered visage lie. Now, this poem is a sonnet. And what is a sonnet? Sonnet is a 14-liner poem with a fixed rhyme scheme. The word sonnet is derived from the Italian word sonetto, which means a little song or a small lyric. About the poem. The poem Ozymandias is a sonnet. The title refers to a Greek name of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, Ramesses II, whose statue is the inspiration behind the poem. The main idea of the poem is the dark reality that power corrupts humans and all tyrants are eventually defeated and reduced to nothing. और हम ये भी कह सकते हैं pride had a fall. ठीक है? Okay. Going to the next step, summary of the poem. The poet meets a traveler from a unique far-off land who tells him about a statue that was in the middle of a desert. The statue comprised of a trunk with two legs and its head was half sunken in sand at its feet. The traveler praises the craftsmanship of the sculptor, who has captured the exact facial expression of the king Ozymandias in making the face. The sculptor's skilled hand mocked up a perfect recreation of those feelings and of the heart that fed those feelings, and in the process so perfectly conveyed the subject's cruelty that the statue itself seems to be mocking its subject. These expressions are stamped forever upon the face of the statue, although both the artist and the kings are long gone. The sand is termed as a leveler, as it brought down the proud to the level of the humble. ठीक है? The mighty king, who had once been very powerful, is nowhere to be seen. Even his grand statue lies in a dilapidated shape. Now the main themes of the sonnet. This is answer to the question number 1. Shelley explores two prominent themes in Ozymandias. First is the transience of power. The ancient statue has decayed, and the inscription only serves as a warning that the pursuit of power and glory for their own sake is not only transient, but it is also an illusory, unworthy ambition even within the seeker's lifetime. The inscription stands in ironic contrast to the reality of the statue. However, underscoring the ultimate transience of political power, Ozymandias may be the king of kings, but even kings can be toppled by mere grain of sand. Then the second theme is the power of art. Although the king's statue boastfully commands onlookers to look on my works, ye mighty, and despair, there are no works left to examine. The king's cities, empire, and power have all disappeared over time. The skillful rendering of the statue itself and the word carved alongside it, have survived. The poem therefore suggests art as a mean to immortality. While everything else disappears, art, even when broken and half buried in sand, can carry humanity's legacy, where nature is out to shatter man's aspiration and dreams just as mere grains of sand shattered and submerged the mighty statue along with the pride of Ramesses II. Second question, the anatomical condition of the statue. According to Shelley, the statue is monumental but completely dead. What remains of the statue is a pair of legs and a broken head. The face, however, has been sculpted so accurately and artfully that the commanding features, a wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, still reflect the arrogance and power wielded by the king. There is a boastful inscription underneath the statue. The content of the inscription further heighten the ironic vein in the poem. Question number 3. Answer to the question number 3 is tone of the poem, ironic overtones of the inscription under the statue. The poem Ozymandias has a tone of ironic solemnity. The irony emerges from the juxtaposition of Ozymandias' inflated vision of his power and grandeur and what survives of it today. It is sad that nothing beside remains. The huge statue he had gotten carved of himself to intimidate people is in pieces. No work survived to cause people to tremble and despair. Yet the irony is further accentuated as the inscription on the broken statue boasts, My name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Look on my work, ye mighty, and despair. Question number 4. Alliteration in the poem and purpose they serve. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a sound or letter at the beginning of multiple words in a sentence or paragraph. There are several instances of alliteration in Ozymandias, including the phrases like cold command, the lone and the lever, boundless and bare. The alliteration in the first line here, remains and round, serves to unite the line musically, although the first part of it ends in a period. In the next line, boundless and bare, alliterate with the effect of emphasizing the vastness and desolation of the desert surrounding the statue of Ozymandias. Finally, lone alliterates with level, and sand alliterates with stretch. The sand stretch far away. The words far away are suggestive of time as well as place. Time continued long after the arrogant Ozymandias lived and ruled and died and was forgotten. His mighty works were no match for eternity. Thus, the use of alliteration heightened the irony and throws light on the transience of man. Question number 5. Answer. Rhyme scheme of Ozymandias. Ozymandias takes the form of a sonnet in iambic pentameter. The pentameter, the sonnet is Petrarchan in that the poem is structured as a group of 8 lines in octaves and a group of 6 lines in sestet. Shelley employs a unique scheme. The standard Shakespearean sonnet uses an AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GT rhyme scheme. The first 3 quatrains have steady, predictable alternating rhyme. However, in the end, Shelley uses a very different scheme. AB, AB, AC, DC, EDE, FDF. It is different from the traditional rhyme scheme. Shelley has used the mixture of an octave and a Shakespearean rhyme scheme. The purpose is to show the progress of time. As the time progresses, the old pattern of rhyme is replaced with a new pattern, which makes the poem unique in its structure. Then, answer to question number 6. Imagery used in the poem. The imagery in Ozymandias is vivid but limited in scope. The poem contains one central image, the shattered visage, the shattered statue of Ozymandias, the Egyptian king. The physical characteristics of the statue convey the poem themes, the transient nature of human life, and the ultimate futility of fame, fortune, and power, despite the vast and colossal proportion of the statue. The figure is shattered alone amidst an expanse of desert. The image of the lone and level sands represent the eventual fate of humanity. Answer to question number 7. The implied meaning of the inscription underneath the statue of Ozymandias. The inscription has a very important role in poem. The ruler had engraved on his statue, "My name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair." The arrogant king did not realize that after his death, the same majestic statue would lie shattered, and all that would be left of the statue would be the inscription. The boastful words and the cold sneer are in direct contrast with the statue's dilapidated state. The leveling sand has brought the vain pride of the arrogant king down. Then, what are the literary devices used in the poem? The literary devices that are used in the poem, these are the tools for writers to use to enrich their text. So Shelley revealed his artistic skill in the poem. He has used metaphor, personification, enjambment, consonance. Enjambment is the term enjambment. It refers to the line that end without any punctuation mark. Shelley has used enjambments in the 2nd and 6th line of his poem, where it is stated, "Who said to vast and trunkless legs of stone and tell his sculptor, well, those passion red." Okay? And then the last thing is synecdoche. The hand that mocked is still a reference to the sculptor and the work of imitation he performed. This is an example of synecdoche in which the hand represents the whole of the statue. The pedestal of the statue still stands, and on it is the message that Ozymandias wanted to leave for posterity. Foolishly he thought that since he had built it, that it would last forever. I'm sending you healthy energy vibes. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me whenever, along with the Word document question and other explanation given that I've already given to you. Thank you very much. Feel free to ask me any question. Thank you very much.